just a pussy hole. Welcome back to Podcast The Hero. It's fucking super nice to be back here.
I knew it was coming.
But
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it on you, but tonight it's on me.
Then you took it on yourself.
I took it on myself.
I tried not to get it on.
Yeah, you tried not to get that pussy hole.
It usually ends up all over me, and I tried to dodge.
Yeah.
So it didn't end up on me.
And I'd like to say tonight's episode is brought to you by yesterday's episode. It's brought to you by Fanny Soda, which is what I named it on YouTube, and I think is a brilliant name for what I think was a brilliant podcast. Very much enjoyable for me to listen to. My wiener is absolutely aching and throbbing from all the grinding and thrusting you guys did upon it. But I fucking loved it, man. Anyone who didn't listen to that, go back and listen. It is on YouTube the least listened to episode, which pissed me off to no end. Yeah, oh yeah.
Nobody wants to watch an episode that doesn't have you.
Well, yeah, I don't blame them, but no, I really really liked it, and I'd also like to say, Fanny Soda translates to the UK English as pussy pop. So that's just a good nickname. It's a good name for an episode. Let me critique it quickly. You guys said a lot of cool things, a lot of great things. Guitarzan, his audio was a little off. I didn't love it because his things were insightful and awesome. Muskie, what can I say about Muskie? He talked a lot about that lyric that he got wrong, and every time he said the lyric in the episode, he got it wrong. Yeah. He was saying like a saucer ship, let's separate. It's like a saucer sep, let's separate.
He doesn't know.
I know. And he was like, I got it.
He doesn't know the words.
I got it now. And High Tops, lovely, beautiful High Tops. Definitely got under my skin a couple times when he was talking about Austin Matthews. And he sounds like Fozzie Bear doing just a regular voice. You know, like if Fozzie Bear took off a little bit of the waka, waka, waka kind of shit, he would end up sounding like High Tops.
We had an awful lot.
You know what? I had a lot of fun listening to it. I listened to it fucking twice.
Why?
Because I'm horny for High Tops.
I didn't listen to it
twice.
I didn't listen to it once.
Well, I liked it. I also think
I only edited it.
You did a fantastic job of hosting those fellas and keeping them on track. And your analysis of how I would rate my show based on the jokes and not on the singing is perfectly accurate.
I know.
Yeah.
I like to speak for you.
I like to have you speak for me.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
I prefer if you speak for me. I do prefer it that way.
Rody would say...
pussy pop. Let's say, get your ice cold pussy pops. This episode is brought to you by Pussy Pops, an icy cool treat to stay cool on the hot summer days.
So you were gone.
I'm so sorry.
You said, I don't want to be in Ontario
I said, excuse
anymore.
me, Fritzy, I've just got to go out and get a pack of cigarettes. And I never came back.
Just never came back. It was so scary.
Wasn't it just?
Yeah. So you played in this festival in Quebec.
Feck is what
it is. It is the Festival of Summer, or the Summer Festival.
Is that what it was? Is that what it was called?
That's what it's called. That's what it's in. That's a translation.
I just know that it was like FEQ. Festival.
Yeah, it's a festival d'été Quebec, which is Festival of Summer Quebec, or Summer Festival Quebec.
Beautiful.
But it did not take place in Montreal.
No, it took place in Ville de Québec, Quebec City.
That's correct.
On the Plains of Abraham, essentially. Whatever the fuck that means. Henry kept talking about it. I don't know anything about Canadian history.
It's there was a famous battle fought there.
Between who? The British and the Americans?
No.
Canada wasn't even involved in any of the battles in Canadian history.
Yeah, Canada, it was against... I don't
Until
know.
like 1990, we were known as British North America. That pretty much.
Except Quebec.
Except Quebec, which was French North America.
Yeah, French North America. Do you think that they were like, you know what? We need to like dig a secret underground tunnel from Quebec to New Orleans to connect the two French places in North America.
Maybe.
And there's a secret hidden tunnel that goes under America from Quebec to New Orleans.
Yeah, I never understood why there's the French in America and why it sounds so different.
Like
Yeah.
Creole?
And
Creole
like,
French
I know
in the
that
US?
the French, the Parisian French, is that how you would maybe refer
Yeah,
to them?
sure.
And the Quebecois French don't really like each other that much. So how does it equal to the Creole French? Like, are they?
I think they probably just all don't like each other. Just like I'm pretty sure all the French don't like each other.
You know, French get a super bad rap. We like.
They get a bad rap from Americans because for some reason America seems to think like we bailed them out in World War II.
I've heard that
But,
narrative
like,
before as well.
Yeah, it's a really dumb narrative because like if it wasn't for France, there wouldn't be America.
Yeah, if it wasn't for France, there wouldn't have been a World War II.
If there wasn't for France, we would still be part
That's
of
true.
Britain. Like Canada is. Yeah. You guys didn't have a France.
No, we
fighting
did,
for
yeah.
you.
They were in there. We were just fighting
did?
against them.
Why?
Like they were all
yeah.
over.
'Cause
There
you
was
guys- You guys were
there was all
loyalists.
there was a like
you guys were all like America was like, yeah, we need to get away from England, and Canada's like, no way, dude, England's
like,
the
yo,
best.
have you heard about this queen?
Right?
Yeah, but the French were up in here. Louis Riel, that's a name from history. But yeah, so we went to fucking
That's a
Quebec,
historical
man.
name.
But first we went to Ottawa for
Yeah.
a rehearsal, and I had one of the best nights of my life. Until
did?
I didn't. So I found this drink called a Cherry Styles. Ever heard?
Like a Harry Styles.
That's
but with
right.
cherries?
It was a fishbowl. It was like it's at
Oh,
fucking
jeez.
Jack Astor's. It's do you guys got Jack Astor's? It's just like a fucking Boston pizza. Do you guys got Boston pizza? It's just like a
Which is a weird. Can we just stop for a second? Why the fuck does Canada have a chain called Boston Pizza? It's not like Boston is known for its
And here's
pizza
the weird
in
thing.
US.
The fucking owner's son is the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
I don't get
When
it.
the Leafs made the second round, they were like, we're gonna call it, I forget what they did, but they changed it so that it wasn't Boston, because obviously Boston is a thorn in the side of Toronto. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know why he named it that. His name's Jim Treliving. He's the owner. Fuck him. He was on Dragon's Den. He actually seems like a pretty good guy, but you know what I mean. Eat the
He just
rich.
got confused.
Fuck them all.
He just got confused. He was trying to name it after Chicago, and he named it after Boston because he thought Boston and Chicago.
That's a
were
good
the
point.
same
Like, why
thing.
Boston pizza? Boston's not known for pizza. You
No,
couldn't call
not
it
at all.
New York pizza because New York fries, right?
Right.
You guys got New York fries?
Right.
And not just
No.
in New York. We got a restaurant called New York Fries. All they sell, hot dogs. Partially true. And then we got Boston pizza.
Yeah, it's weird. Real weird. Okay, so you were at a Boston
I was at a
Pizza.
Jack Astor's. Yeah.
Same thing. Okay, you're drinking from
Yeah.
Harry Styles.
I don't know
Ween.
why, but I like the night before, like once I get together with the boys, I want a fucking like a sugary cocktail. And if there's another drink upturned inside it, ooh, Woo! Even better. Like that, everybody calls it, what's, you know, with the Corona upturned into margarita, and they call it a Corona Rita. But I call that the Mexican Bulldog, which I think is a way better name.
Yeah.
And I think it might even be an Extreme song. Extreme are coming up way too much on this podcast. We're like a band that hasn't been relevant in fucking forever. They're coming up a lot.
Everybody fucking loves Extreme.
But so, anyways, if it's got an upturned drink in it, I'll get it. So I got a Cherry Styles. It was like a fishbowl style drink with like every fucking thing in the world in it, and a Coors Light vodka soda upturned in it. Ben got one as well. I sucked mine down so fucking quick, and then Ben was feeling sick, so I put my straw in his and I helped him suck his down. It was a fucking royal suck fest in there. And so anyways, afterwards, we're not feeling great, but we heard that Mike Arati was going to be at the Mandarin down the street. Right? And you know Mandarin, it's North American Chinese food, but buffet style, make you feel just wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Nothing better than throwing that on top
He was
of a bunch of
having
booze.
a family.
So you were going to go bust in on his family
and we did.
dinner.
There's a guy. That guy used to play drums in our band. And as soon as we got in there, Ben fucking gets one plate with like a bunch of food on it and then like leaves.
Oh, yeah, because he was clearly
that's exactly.
barfing.
He went in, it was like 7 o'clock, and these Cherry Styles were blood red. And so he's barfing what appears to be blood all over the place. There's families in the bathroom being like, oh, stay away from the blood barf. The man that's throwing up blood all over the bathroom. But then he came back in and he launched right into his spring roll.
Well, yeah, he eliminated the threat.
Yo, here's a fucked up thing. Place where we rehearsed, really cool place, nice place, hot as hell, but like whatever, in Ottawa.
You shouldn't. I mean, that's a nice way to describe Mike's house.
I wish it was Mike's house, but he won't let us anymore.
He won't let you in. He's like, no.
We're Wordle friends now.
That's it.
Pardon me. But so we're like at this place, and I'm looking across these train tracks and through this tall grass. I'm like, that fucking Jack Astor's in Mandarin is right there. That's where we're trying to go. I was like, Google Maps is saying it's a 40-minute walk because you've got to go all the way around the train tracks and the tall grass.
All the way around.
And we're looking at it and going, surely we're going to get out of this okay if we just like fester through this tall grass and shimmy over these tracks. But my wife, Cage, was there, and she said, this is fucking stupid. I'm not going through that tall grass. I don't want Lyme disease.
Yeah.
And she also said, and you know Ben, he's just itsy bitsy. You'll lose him. You'll lose him in that tall grass.
He'll be lost.
That's true.
He can't see over the grass.
And he gets lost so fucking easy, man. So we got worried we'd lose him in the tall grass, and Stephen King would have a fucking chapter 2 to one of his least successful novels. The tall grass, that is, the tall grass. So we fucking took an Uber. This thing was like 100 meters away from us. Just like 2 middle fingers to the environment and $14 out of the band account.
To get over there and drink another Cherry Styles.
We drank some Cherry Styles and felt very sick. And that...
What was it about the Cherry Styles you think that made you so sick?
Yeah. That was the day before the show, and I was fucked the next day. Like, all day long. I'd never been sicker. Yeah.
Really?
No, I mean, not never
barfing?
been sicker, but, like, just, like, felt like fucking shit. Felt like I was going to barf. Felt like I was going to spray. You know.
Yeah.
Felt like I was going to have a word squirt, which is a cool way to say barfing. Squirting out your word hole. So yeah, woke up the next day feeling like absolute shit. and we fucking had to drive from Ottawa to Quebec City that night after those cherry styles. You know what? It's probably not just the cherry styles that made me feel like shit. We stopped a fuck ton of times on the way, and every time we stopped, I grabbed 2 of the biggest beers I could, because they sell beers in gas stations in Quebec, right? Like, so I was fucking sucking them down all the way.
Yeah. Well, because you're trying to offset the cherry
But
styles.
I had like a chelada. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. It's like a Bloody Mary, but with beer.
So I put that
like
on top of a
beer.
cherry styles.
Oh,
no.
You're not very good at that, of like choosing the correct beverages to go together.
I kind of go in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's just party. And the chelada was one of those king cans, not like a tall boy. And then I got one of those fucking big bad Coronas. You know the Coronas that come too big? I drank a lot of different weird shit that night, and I ate a bunch of corn twists and a whole bunch of mandarin. You know, they're like kind of like cheesies, but they're just pure corn. You don't know what cheesies are? Like Cheetos. But cheesies.
Okay, Cheetos.
They're
Okay,
cheesies. Do you guys not call them cheesies?
Okay.
Like Hawkins cheesies. You know what I'm talking about? That does seem like a thing that would be regionally specific. I gotta tell you,
very Canadian.
If you ever see Hawkins cheesies, get them. Because like I
are they good?
Oh,
are they better
by
than
a
Cheetos?
country mile. They're salty. They're salty as fuck. Oh, you feel like you're preserving your tongue. I can't even eat them. Haven't eaten them in years, but just the memories. They're those like hard ones too. But sorry, we're talking about corn twists. Yeah. Hostess corn twists.
Are they like Fritos?
No, they're very much like cheesies in nature. Look up Hostess corn twists and then get one tattooed in the middle of your face. They're not very good and nobody likes them, but I can't eat cheesies, so I fucking eat corn twists from time to time. Recounting this, I'm starting to see why I felt so fucking sick the next day. Is that revelatory
really,
to you?
No, this is.
I believe
Chester's
that's probably the same. Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, I'm sure Cheetos makes a version of it. They probably can't call them Cheetos because the chi is for cheese, so they'd have to call them Cornels.
So
yeah, I got
you
excited.
did your typical thing, which I know you really like to eat.
It's my favorite
from gas stations. So you drank a bunch of sugar. I mean, that's like drinking like liquor Slurpees, and then drank a bunch of beers and a chelada, which it is tomato, maybe
and beer,
and lime, and then more beers. And then you went to
I got to sleep the night. I slept the night, but then I felt very sick the next day, and the next day was the day that we had to play the show. How do actual fucking rockers of the things of legend, Ozzy Osbourne, is it Tommy Jones or Tommy Lee Jones? Which one's the one from Men in Black?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Which one's the one from Motley Crue? Oh, so it's not Tom. There's no Tommy Jones. Tom Jones. There's Tom Jones, Tommy Lee, and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
And two of them
all
rock.
3 different people. Which one?
Tommy Lee Jones and
Tommy Lee?
And Tom Jones. It's not unusual. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Motley Crue. No, but what do they have? Clamato?
Do not have tomato. No, it's just lime, salt, and beer.
What about the Bud Light Chelada? Because that's the one I had.
Let's find out.
And I'll tell you what. It was okay. I didn't like it.
Oh,
See?
it does have tomato in it. The refreshing taste of Bud Light with the richness of a Clamato tomato cocktail.
Now, Clamato's a fucking improvement upon tomato juice. I know it doesn't sound like it, Fritzy.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that's typically done in the United States. But a Caesar versus a Bloody Mary, Caesar every time. A Caesar is fucking unbelievable.
Because everybody loves to drink clams in the morning.
No, it's just, I don't know. It's different. It's different. There's a whole lot more goes into it. We're not just like dumping vodka into fucking tomato juice and being like, man, I don't care what ails you. We're fucking fixing it up, dude. You got to get some Worcestershire sauce in there. You got to put some horseradish in it. You got to put some fucking hot sauce. And you got to garnish the fuck out of it. And yeah, there's a little bit of clam in it.
With a hot dog? I never got the whole like Caesar Bloody Mary thing, like, but I also never like was like, ooh, tomato.
Yeah, no, me
juice
neither.
sounds like a
I
good
don't
thing
like
to drink.
tomatoes. I don't like tomato juice, but I will fucking drink Caesars until my fucking feet swell, which they often do just based on the salt content.
Oh.
You got like a fucking meat stick in there?
There's so much salt.
I one time got a fucking Caesar
at
an airport that came with so much shit. Like it was like a jumbo shrimp. It was like all sorts of stuff. It came with another, like there was a little beer on the side. Luke goes, oh yeah, that's a sidecar. Like he's seen it all the fucking time. I'm going like, there's so much stuff with this. I got a little beer. It's a piece of pizza fucking hanging out of the top, a chicken leg. Oh, hell yeah.
There was not a
chicken leg.
Pizza. A chicken?
Raw. They sort of just like stick it in with big long sticks and stuff. You never seen a like crazy? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, you would if you were if you were me. You'd get it.
If I were you, I would just order a pizza.
You want to hear something? I jumped off a cliff.
Yeah.
Well, at a lake.
Where?
I jumped off a cliff into a lake, and I left my Apple Watch at the bottom of that lake. Yeah.
No,
look at the difference between my hand and my arm. I got like a Donald Trump colored hand. I did.
Why didn't you dive down to
over
the bottom
and
of the lake
over?
And get it?
And then I had my cousins go and do it too, and they're better divers than me. It was about 20 feet down, and so the worst part is that on your Apple Find My thing, it just shows it sitting off the coast of a blueberry island. No, the thing was like 30 years old.
Did you have the insurance?
I did.
Well, now you have to get a new
Of
Apple
course,
Watch.
It's over here.
Oh,
I'm
you did
just
already?
charging it.
Oh, man.
I know.
I was going to say, like, I didn't know what you were going to do
really
with
do.
yourself.
I love
you
it.
You depend on that thing.
It's fucking stupid, but I love it. It's just Uber Eats advertisements. Every now and again, somebody text me, oh, save 20% on Uber Eats. Like,
yep. Have you seen this thing? There's a thing that you can do. There's a company that will sell you a
watch band on it?
flat screen TV. No. They put another little screen at
it's
the
LG.
bottom. It's like a TV.
You got constant ads and free
and
TV.
Another little screen, and the TV is free.
That's LG. Life is good.
Just ads at the bottom.
I have all LG TVs. I fucking hate that.
Oh.
Like, they give you the TV for free?
Yeah.
They give you,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, but like, it's so fucking dystopian, dude. It's so dark.
Yeah. So everybody was like, why don't you just put a little piece of paper over the bottom screen so you never have to see them? But I bet 100% there's like a little sensor in there, right? That can tell when that little screen is blocked, and when it's blocked, your TV turns off.
We're going the wrong way. Like, that's, you know what? Like, fuck. Like, part of me wants to be like,
the wrong way.
Like, people like living under the poverty line or something like that could have a fucking big TV and watch all sorts of stuff, and like that would be sick for them. But then it's like, oh, like they're just getting like,
who are the people that least need to be taken advantage of by having fucking commercials?
Why can't we just fucking figure out how to get everybody paid more? Because it's like everybody's working hard and nobody's fucking making what they're worth. Especially me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you make exactly the right amount.
I do? Yeah, probably.
So maybe
actually
that's where we start.
Too much.
You start giving it away. Just so you start giving a percentage of your podcast paycheck away. We got $14 in the account right now, baby.
It paid for the Uber to get over from the practice space over to the
hell yeah! Watch those ads.
Giant Harry Styles.
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot about that.
I want to ask you about the fest.
Forgot about the whole point of this.
There were some pictures.
I think they said it was 5,000.
There were a lot of people there.
Somewhere in that vicinity.
That's
they weren't all there for us.
And
some of them really weren't.
Yes, they were. Oh, really?
A lot of them did not give a fuck about us. There was a fairly significant Lamb of God chant while we were playing. Yeah, but they were side by side. So
on the same stage
nobody, like everybody that was in there was just kind of like trapped, and they had to witness us. That's correct.
While they were waiting for Lamb of God.
It was great. Like, we had some fans there that were like enjoyed the set, and then we had a lot of people that like probably were like, well, whatever, and then there were some people that were like, fuck you. But it was a lot of fun. I like going into that environment, right? And I don't really help it very much because I can be kind of antagonistic, like, because it's fun for me. Like, I get to play this like I've always like wanted to play like a bad guy wrestler on stage. That's kind of what I try to do. But like, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I also get that it's like English is probably not the first language of most of these people in the crowd, and sometimes that it just comes off like arrogance. Also, I like because it's like we're playing between Fit for an Autopsy and Lamb of God. I was like, I'm going to fucking buy a cool flowery shirt. It's going to be flowy and nice, and I'm going to fucking dance, baby. Like, I like dancing. I want music that makes me dance. I like to bang my head when the part is heavy, but like, I want to spin around in a circle and do a dance. And if it doesn't fit the vibe of the night, I'm going to do it a little harder, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was in a band in college, we played. Our music was very.
Hell yeah!
It was on the very poppy side of rock and roll, right? We had a girl singer. We had the pretty poppy songs.
Sick.
We played with a lot of much heavier bands. And we always felt like really out of place because we were like a bunch of like poppy college kids playing poppy college songs and playing with a bunch of like dudes who have been in like the Detroit metal scene for 20 years and are like dudes legit wearing leather pants and leather vests and like headbanging the whole, you know, and we're opening for these guys. And it was like, this feels not like the best fit.
You know what? I don't want to
little
feel in place.
out of place.
You know, like, I feel like if you feel like you're a perfect fit,
You don't?
or you're just right, then where's the fun? Where's the like yeah, if you fit just right, you're doing something wrong, you know? And that's like maybe me avoiding success, as Trevor said. But like, I like to be the fucking square peg in the round hole. I like to get pegged in my round hole. I like, but no, I want to be the odd man out, you know, because you stand out one way or the other. If you put 5 like heavy metal chugging bands together, like you played with, and then there's one pop band in the middle that's playing like fucking awesome pop college songs or whatever the fuck it was, who are people going to remember? All the bands that kind of sounded the same and fit the bill perfectly, for better or for worse. Like, a lot of those people were probably like, oh, remember that fucking horrible band went on and fucking pissed me off, and I had to fucking go get like a beer and smash it on my head. You know, like, that's what they're going to remember, whether they liked it or not. Like, I guarantee you we pissed more people off that spoke more about our set than maybe, you know what? I'm not going to say more than Lamb of God, because people went fucking bananas for Lamb of God, and they were amazing. So we made an impact, is what I'll say.
The lineup of this festival. So first of all, the fact that the festival is like 10 days, that's a really long time. Like, most festivals are like, it starts like on Friday night and we end on Sunday night. And this thing is like,
like, I was sitting in my cottage fishing, losing my Apple Watch, and that festival was on.
Yeah. And like, I don't think I've ever seen a festival where it was like, oh wow, I know that band. That's Green Day. And then also at the same festival, like 4 days later.
Oh, dude, here's the fucked up thing.
Just French folk songs.
We're playing what I am looking at and going like, this is a big fucking show. 5,000 people, huge, whatever. At the same time, there was a completely other stage where this DJ was playing, DJ by the name of Millennium, who I'd never heard of, playing to a fucking 100,000 people.
Me either.
Yeah. And I'm not denigrating DJ that profession at all, or this person. Obviously, they're fucking incredibly successful. But what I'm saying is, like, I'm looking at this show that I think is big, and then
huge.
Just across the plains of Abraham, where Louis Riel got his fucking circumcised, got his fucking circumcised. That's what happened there, right? But anyway, there's 100,000 people just going fucking nanners. Yeah.
That's one, that's a lot of people. 2,
I feel like you are a DJ.
I could have been a DJ.
Aren't you?
I'm not, though, really.
Close. A little bit, though.
No. I don't have like turntables. I thought about getting turntables when the pandemic started, and I saw that like there's a ton of DJs on Twitch. I was like, I could do that probably. But then I saw how many.
I one time saw like a newspaper comic strip that was hard boomer energy, but I still really liked it, despite the fact that it was making fun of me. And it was like, a man collapses in the street, and this woman's down beside him. She goes, "Is anybody here a doctor?" And there's like a bunch of people around, and they're all DJs. Like they're like, well, not me. I'm a DJ. And go like, everybody's a DJ, and like I think ultimately, the
everybody's
point
a
was
DJ.
millennials are lazy and think they can make all their money by playing fucking CDs.
Yeah.
But still, I like the future where everybody is a DJ, because it's kind of here. Hell yeah. And we need more people to just play other people's
We need more music. Yeah. To tell you the truth, like some of my favorite streams that I've done
You
on
are a
Twitch
DJ.
when, like,
See, I told you.
I just DJ.
Like,
But it's not actually DJing. I'm just like, let's talk about like the history of this genre or whatever, and then we'll like listen to a bunch of different examples and like sort of sometimes
that's
do like
beautiful.
a little history lesson on stuff.
it's about you being a DJ.
This is not about. What I wanted to know is what was your favorite part of this festival? What was your favorite part? Was it you guys playing? Was there somebody that you saw? Like how far ahead of time did you
Where?
what is happening?
Was it on my end?
Something is going on.
Fritzy! He's gone! Fritzy! He's back.
It said like something like it stopped recording me.
You just disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
And I just screamed the whole time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. How far in advance of the
That was fucking hilarious. You were like, something's wrong. And then you just disappeared. And
what if that was just the end?
I can't
the
wait
episode.
for you to hear my fucking audio on that.
Did you did you guys just show up like a couple hours before your set?
No.
Or did you like hang out and like see a bunch of people?
So weird thing is, we were there, right? We drove in the night before, drank a bunch of booze, stayed at this hotel room, which I thought was really nice, but Cage wouldn't let her bare feet touch the floor, if that's any indication. But yeah, I thought it was fucking great. But so we just had to walk from the hotel down the street, and the stage was right there, which was the greatest. We walked over there around noon, did a sound check, had something to eat. I went and got a haircut, which was weird. And then came back, had a couple drinks, played and partied. So we're there all day.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to talk about my haircut.
Yeah. What was weird? Do they do haircuts differently in France?
Well, yeah. Especially in France. But so I went in there. I went into this one shop, and they were like, hey, what's up? It was like fucking all looked new and cool.
Yeah.
And it was air conditioned. And remember, I'm feeling like shit. So I'm like,
oh, yeah.
This is going to be great. And then I'm like, you guys take walk-ins? And they're like, nope. I was like, okay. See you later. And so I look up the next closest one, and I called them, and I'm like, you take walk-ins? They're like, yeah, come right now. And I was like, okay, here we go. Go to this place called UK Cuts. UK Cuts or something like that. Whatever. I'm walking down this weird alleyway following this thing, and there's this like door just sort of flapping in the window. I'm going, oh, fuck, I hope this isn't it.
And it was
it. I walk in there, there's like a bunch of fucking like washing machines and like kids' toys and like a TV set up, a bunch of people watching it, and then I walk around the corner, and that's where all the chairs are, and there's no air conditioning. I'm right away just going, this is bad. Anyway, I walk in because I look around and all the barbers are black, and I'm like, yes, because this might be a generalization, but I'm like,
you're gonna get
I'm gonna get an awesome haircut. Like I'm gonna get a sick paid. But so anyway, I walk in. I'm like, hey, sweating like fuck. I'm like on the verge of barfing. Like, can I get a haircut? And they put me with this girl who I did not realize at the time was brand new. I think. But anyway, so she like puts me in a fucking chair. And she's like, what you want? I'm just like, just like a fucking fade on the sides and back. Yeah, medium, because I want to get out of there. And then she kind of looks at me like, what?
I don't know what medium means.
She comes back with the main dude, and he's like, hey, so she doesn't really speak any English. What, can you tell me what you want? I was like, yeah, I just want like a medium height fade. And he was like, you want a bald fade or you want number one? And I was like, I don't want a bald fade because I'm going to fucking throw up everywhere. So just give me number one. Thinking like, I'll be out of here. Like that.
Like that.
Anyway, she spends 2 hours.
No.
Like shaving a line around my head. Like, no, this looks worse than it is. Your gasp. Oh, no. She shaved like, just like around here, like just a couple inches above my ear for 2 hours. She's doing that. And she's just like, especially this one spot right here, just over and over again. Zip, 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 zip. I get to the point where I'm like, is everything okay?
He's like, no, I fucked it up an hour ago.
I'm just going like,
and I'm just sitting here because I don't know what else to do.
Exactly. And like she keeps like bending my ears back, like to the point where I'm just like, my ears are really fucking hurting from just like bending. And then the main dude, who his name is UK, he comes and he just like takes the clippers out of her hand. And after like took 2 hours and like fixes my haircut in like 15 minutes, gave me a rather nice haircut. You know, It's still, I've been wearing a hat all day, but like fixed it like super quick and then just like pieced outside. I go and I pay her and then I walk outside to like leave, and he's standing outside and he's just like, hey man, sorry. And I was like, hey, thanks for fucking fixing it, man. It was weird as fuck, dude. And then Quebec City's all hills, dude. I had to walk up a hill. But here's the thing, while I was in there, it was so fucking hot, I sweat my hangover out.
Oh, that's good.
So maybe part of the problem was me. Maybe I was so sweaty she couldn't fucking figure out how to cut the hairs. Maybe she was like, why are the hairs all wet?
Yeah.
Maybe it was my fault.
Why are my feet all wet?
Yeah. But I honestly thought I was going to throw up.
Pouring sweat out everywhere. And she's like, I can't, if I do anything with these clippers other than just this, I'm going to get everybody in this place electrocuted because everybody's standing in water.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
She asked me a couple times, she was like, do you want some water? I was like, no. Like, I must have been pale as a ghost. She'd be like, no, I'm good.
Just get it done. Just swallowing my own saliva is going to make me barf.
Like, I was at a point where I was just going to be like, we're done here. I just have a mushroom cut for stage tonight, and that's
you
fucking
should have just
fine.
been like, you know what? I have to go make a phone call. I'm going to go step outside before you even started. Right?
Yeah.
When you got there and you were like, because the only reason you got a haircut there, right, was because you had already gone inside.
Yeah.
And if you would have felt bad walking out.
You can't walk out.
Right. It's rude.
Yeah.
So you were like, I'm committed to this. But if you had just said, oh, hang on, somebody's calling me, let me take this outside, and then ran away.
Yeah,
you could have gone on stage with the hair that I had
before.
It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Nobody would have noticed.
I don't have that in me. Like, even honestly, I was like kind of mad at her for what she was doing, giving me that like really long mushroom cut. Like, not long, but like time long.
Yeah.
And even then, I was sort of preparing myself to be like, oh, you know, I think it's good. Thank you very much. It looks very good. I'm very happy with it. I'd like to pay and leave. Like, I'm not going to cause any kind of confrontation. I'm never going to reprimand a person in the service industry. No. I'm going to deal with a fucking mushroom cut, and I'm going to tip you generously.
And you were going to be like, do you know what are the directions to the nearest hat store?
Yeah, and then I was probably going to go out of there and fucking shave my head.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I would never. It's too scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are people in the world who just like lose it.
Did you know,
You know what I
that
mean?
there are people in the world annoyed with all the other people in the world?
Yeah.
And of all these angry people in the world, I am the angriest boy.
You are?
You don't know that song?
No. What is that?
When I
song?
was spat onto this world in a stream of guts by Mother Nature, that green-eyed slut, I wasn't the first to get forced from a cut, one to whom I still shall stay stuck. Paints a pretty picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just say
What is
anything.
Oh,
I hate everything.
I like that movie. You told me on your way home in the van that there were tornadoes.
Yeah, we almost fucking died.
So, do you remember when we started talking earlier, and I said you're the guy that all the things happen to?
Yeah. That's...
See?
Well...
Yeah. You had the haircut. You had the barfy drinks.
Yep.
You had a tornado van.
Now, the only thing
You
that really
had a
happened...
$14 Uber to go around a block.
I caused all the other problems.
Okay.
I didn't cause the tornado. I don't
don't
even know if
think.
there was a tornado. I'm pretty sure there wasn't, but it was scary as fuck. We were just getting into Montreal, and all of our phones are like doing the fucking bump,
Yeah.
bump. Like
Yep.
one's going off, they stop it, the other goes off, and it's like you are in a fucking geolocation for like for fucking
Yes, there are
tornadoes.
tornadoes everywhere.
The sky looks like shit. We put on a fucking playlist for whatever reason that was just all songs that were about rain. Started with "Let the Rain Fall Down," Hillary Duff. But it was just all songs like "Bring on the Rain, motherfucker." That's one of our songs, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
It wasn't on the playlist. But so we're doing that, and we're driving into this thing after our phones are just like going off, and you can see like there's a very serious line in the sky of like the sky is black on that side and
Yep.
it's blue on this side, and it's like I don't know if I was like imagining things or like seeing things because I was scared and anxious, but like I feel like right on the edge of that where the blue and the black were meeting was beginning to like swirl together, right? Because it's the fucking warm front and the cold front meeting. But like just as we're driving into it, there was an exit on the highway that people were skidding off, and HK turned to Tim and went, "Get off and turn around." Right? So they do that. And the sky sort of chases us the whole fucking way, and we get back to like a movie theater, and then this fucking torrential rainfall happens, and the whole time we're having these conversations like of everything everyone knows about tornadoes, right? So like someone's like, "Did you know that usually there's like a heavy rainfall and it masks the tornado, so you don't even see it coming?"
Yeah, the tornado is wrapped in rain.
Yeah, and Cage, I remember at one point, Cage was like, if you see a tornado in front of you and it doesn't look like it's moving, it's coming towards you. So like everybody, and our phones are still just going, bam, bam, get to shelter. We're still like, this is so scary. And like the rain starts happening, right? It starts.
Did you go hide?
Yeah,
Where did you hide?
in a movie theater.
What movie did you see?
We didn't see a movie.
You just sat in the lobby?
Yeah, but so what the rain hit, and funny part was we're in like a Dodge Durango, a Durango Unchained. Anyway, so Henry, he's in the back seat, and like you have to put the seat down to let him out. Mm-hmm. And Ben, Cage, and I are sitting on the bench. I'm like, I said, I gotta let Henry out. And Ben's like, he's on my side. I gotta let him out. And I was like, all right, you got him. Cool. Because as soon as you open the door, you get fucking soaked. And at this point, we're thinking like imminent tornado.
Right.
So I get out and I fucking run. And Ben gets out.
I know what's happening.
And he fucking runs. Yeah. Not only did he run, but he closed his door. And fucking So Cage is behind me. Tim gets out. He's driving. Tim gets out, and HK gets out, and they're running. Tim locks the fucking van, and just as Cage is closing the door, she hears Henry just go, "Hey!" But she closes the door, so she's got to get Tim. She runs and gets Tim. I'm fucking gone, dude. I left my wife behind.
You're hiding under the popcorn machine.
Yeah, and fucking she goes back and she gets Tim. She's like, Henry's still in the fucking van. You gotta let him out. So she fucking goes back. Cage puts the fucking seat down. Hank gets out, and they come running. Ben was the first one in shelter and safety.
I love that story.
Yeah, Cage is a fucking hero, and Ben is a sniffling little coward.
And I love the fact that it happened to Hank.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it was Hank that was left in the back.
Yeah.
Going, guys.
Hey.
And I could totally see everybody inside going, are we down a man? Where? I could have sworn there was more of us.
Can you imagine if a tornado actually hit and fucking took Henry away?
Took Hank away.
And just killed him in the back of a Durango? Like, we'd just be like, Ben, I mean...
You said you were going to let him out.
You killed Henry. You're still in the band, but you killed Henry. We need you, Ben.
Did you think about possibly...
Just killing
letting
Henry.
the tornado get you and pick you up and throw you towards home?
Oh,
Then
dude,
maybe
yeah.
you get home faster?
I thought about maybe just rolling the windows down and everybody seatbelts off.
Oh.
Suck them out.
Yeah.
Another suck fest. Suck fest part 2. You know what's difficult about having your wife on tour? This is one of the first times. Well, Cage's come on tour from time to time, but not when we're like touring a fucking Durango. I never wear a seatbelt on tour, which is maybe stupid. I don't know what I wear a seatbelt at home. I always wear a seatbelt, but for some reason, get me with the boys in a fucking van.
It's because you want to be free to fuck with everybody depending on where they are in the van.
Yeah.
And a seatbelt is too restricting, and you need to be able at a moment's notice to be over the back of the seat and into the farther back seats to fuck with whoever's sitting back there.
Yeah.
And then escape up. You need to be mobile.
I just, like I live most of my life in a van. And just like sleeping in the back seat, like the 12 passengers and the 15 passengers, and just like doing all sorts of stuff. And you just like, you drive all the time. So it's like, you're going to buckle up. No.
Yeah.
Which is wild because it's like your chances of getting in an accident when you're in a van are way higher. Buckle the fuck up. But constantly, Cage is like, why aren't you wearing your seatbelt? I'm like, I don't even really know. It's just like something that I've been doing since I was like 12.
Right?
Not 12, but like 16 or so, whenever we started driving ourselves. And my justification for it this time was like, well, if we get in an accident, I want to make sure that my body bounces around every which way and kills every one of you. Because that's what happens.
You want to be the everybody's all strapped in.
Yeah, everybody's safe.
To be safe.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, if we get in a wreck,
if one person
with me.
If one person isn't being safe, nobody's safe. No matter how safe they're being.
Yeah.
And I like that. I don't like that. These things really happen. I just whistling Dixie.
So Cage rode with you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cage and I drove up to Ottawa on our own, and then we left our car in Ottawa, and we drove the 5 hours to Quebec in the Durango.
For some reason, in my head, Cage was following in another vehicle. Just because the smell and obnoxiousness of being in would be too much.
But here's the thing. The smell and the obnoxiousness at this point are all me.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it used to be Truk and Klum and like
Yeah.
Mosey, and those guys were just fucking going nanners, ripping it up by toot-wise, joke-wise. Nowadays, everybody's cool, everybody's sick, but everybody's polite.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. I think also you've reached an age where everybody's mostly sleepy,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Like on a long car ride, people are like, yeah, it's sleepy time.
Well, I passed out between chiladas for sure.
Yeah.
But I made a little chilada sleep sandwich. Chilada, sleep, Corona.
Chilada sleep sandwich. I have a game.
Ow! I love it, man.
So you were at the Quebec Summer Festival.
Yes.
Quebec also has a winter festival
Yeah, Bonhomme.
called Carnaval de Québec.
Yeah, my parents fucking love it, dude. You drink mulled wine out of a cane walking down the streets, and you used to go, Bonhomme, c'est tout chouette, Bonhomme, c'est tout chouette, c'est tout chouette, Bonhomme.
So the fact that you know about it is going to
Greatly increase my chances of
yeah,
winning this game.
yeah, unfortunately.
I've said
question number one.
I've already said everything I know about
Yeah,
it.
you've already said everything that all the questions. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
Question number one. When did this festival begin?
Okay.
Was
The
it
Confederation
1990?
of Canada happened
1990,
in
2011, 1955, or 1968?
I want to say that it's like fairly old. Like when you started asking this question, I thought about the summer of 1816, where winter began in June. That's factual. That is factual.
So like the Little Ice Age or something?
No, there was like a volcanic eruption somewhere in the world, and it caused the
Like it was like 1 year of like super long winter.
it caused the east coast of Canada to go from like 30 to 5 degrees centigrade, of course, within a day.
Nice.
But I'm just doing this because I don't know the answer, and I'm going to say 1960, whatever the 61 was. 1968.
No, it was 1955.
Ah, shoot, I was close.
Yep. I think you already know this one, but the mascot of the Winter Festival
c'est Bonhomme.
is
Bonhomme.
Well, the options were.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm gonna give because
because you spent some time on these. Okay, so sorry. I shouldn't have jumped the gun. I shouldn't have jumped the Bonhomme.
Père Noël
Father Christmas.
in French.
Ah, oui. No.
Rudolph,
Well, yeah. He looks French as fuck, doesn't he?
Bonhomme Carnaval,
Bonhomme Carnival.
or a goat named Francois.
Mm.
Well, we all know what the answer.
That's how we know what the answer is. It's A.
No, it's C.
Yeah, Bonhomme. Do you know what that translates to?
Like good boy, but he's like a snowman.
Yeah, it's a good man.
Yeah,
He's a good.
good guy.
Yeah.
He's a happy good guy.
We learned about that festival in elementary school.
Really?
We sang that fucking song. We learned about Bonhomme. We drank mulled wine.
You didn't drink any wine
Tell
in
that
elementary
to
school.
Mr. Hungerford, my 6th grade elementary school French teacher that was arrested for drug trafficking. This is factual information
this is
again.
Good because the official beverage of the festival is what? A hot toddy, which is hot whiskey, honey, lemon, water, and
A
spices.
true delight.
Red wine popsicles.
Ooh, why would you have a popsicle in the wintertime?
Because it's cold. It turns that red wine to ice. Eggnog made with goat's milk.
Ew.
Or red wine, whiskey, and maple syrup.
I'm going to say D. Red wine,
Yeah.
whiskey, and maple syrup.
It's called a caribou.
Yeah, that's what it is. I called it mulled wine, but it's not mulled wine. It is the caribou. And you have like these, my parents anyways, have these fucking walking sticks that have Bonhomme on the top, and Bonhomme is the cap, and it's just like a hollow fucking thing that you fill with that caribou, and you suck it down, and it's kind of like hot, and it keeps you warm and drunk.
There you go. What's the official sporting event of the festival is something called ice canoeing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is A, racing canoes that are carved out of ice. B, paddling across the water sitting on a block of ice.
These are very...
D, building canoes from giant ice blocks. Or just canoeing.
Now, I was under the impression that it was riding canoes down a luge track. What was the first one you said?
Racing canoes that are carved out of ice.
That sounds right.
No, it's just canoeing.
It's just canoeing.
Yeah, except the way they race is sometimes the waterway that they're canoeing on is frozen over, so they have to get out of the canoe, and then they run across the ice, pushing the canoe across the ice, and then they get to the other end of the ice, and they all jump back in the canoe and keep paddling. But it's just canoeing.
That sounds très dangereux.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. I'm going to start trying to throw in as much French as I can into this.
How much French is actually spoken by Canadians outside of Quebec?
Very little.
Zero. Like almost none.
There is only one bilingual province, which is a surprise to many Canadians as well, because they think Quebec is bilingual. It's not. It's singulingual. How do you say singularly lingual? It's because it's...
I think it's just lingual.
It's just lingual, but it's French, right? It's not... English is not the language there. Actually, it is fucking... New Brunswick is the only bilingual province in Canada.
What is the other language? It's English and...
English and French.
Dutch?
That's right.
Wait, you said New Brunswick?
New Brunswick, yeah. Are you
Where
thinking
is
about...
Brunswick?
Brunswick,
Where's
I imagine.
Old Brunswick?
I imagine is in the UK.
So
Because you have a New Brunswick as well, don't you?
Probably.
In New Jersey?
Yeah, probably.
Something like
But
that.
it's a town. It's not like a whole province.
Yeah, it's an entire province. New Brunswick. There's not a whole lot to see there,
But why do they speak French there?
based on their proximity to Quebec, I imagine. And I imagine they have a lot of French people there.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, the French came across the channel, the ocean there, and they probably landed at an eastern point, like somewhere in Nova Scotia, I imagine. And they set up camp there, and they fought the British, and they just didn't have the troops. So what they did was they stood their dead against the trees, so that it looked like they had lots and lots of soldiers. And that area became very scary to people. They thought it was haunted because there was lots of skeletons there.
Yeah.
So
What is that place?
that is Halifax now, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it became known as Africville because this is true. I forget, it was after the War of 1812. There were people who had escaped slavery.
Yep.
And there was people that had come from Jamaica as well, because Jamaica was like fucking colonized, and it was some specific group called the Maroons, and they were like going after all the fucking plantations. And they'd scared the living shit out of these plantation owners to the point where the British government was like, hey, we got some land that we'll just give you if you please go away. And I guess they accepted. And it became a very large black population area. I might have a lot of this information
Completely wrong.
but there was an Africville, which I believe is where modern day Halifax is. Because eventually...
That seems like a pretty standard thing for governments to do. Is like, here, we'll leave you guys alone. We're going to give you this land for free.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go live there. It's going to be great for you.
And then be like,
the land
wait. Yeah.
The land is like, oh, you're used to this tropical climate? How about Nova Scotia?
And on top of it being frigid, it's very scary. Nobody will go near it.
Kinds of skeletons.
Yeah, there's skeletons everywhere. At one point, there was like a downed French ship in the ice, and bodies would just like wash up from the fucking ship all the time. So it's like you'd get a little fresh corpse every now and again. Like,
everybody just, the sea just belches out dead bodies.
yeah, you're gonna love it here.
I really like this segment. I think we should make this a regular thing where Rody tells us Canadian history.
But it's like
'cause this is
loose and scary.
Yeah, this is fantastic. If you look at a map,
Yeah.
Ottawa is very close to Quebec.
Yeah. But it's not very close to Quebec City.
No, but it's very close to Quebec, which makes me think, like, the French were like, yeah, we're coming. And then where they stopped, like, they were like, ugh.
That's enough.
Tired.
Yeah. I like how you went, ugh, like a real French guy.
Yeah. And that's why.
Like you should have said, sacre bleu.
They were trying to take the capital, and they just couldn't quite make it. And so that's why the border is right there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's worth looking into.
And I think they're probably going to succeed at some point.
At some point, they'll take the capital.
Yeah. Ottawa will become the capital of French Canada, which will be its own country.
I mean, maybe they already have taken the capital. Justin
And then-
Trudeau.
It would be very weird because you'll have one country in here, right? Like
Yeah.
Quebec will be like here, and then there'll be like regular Canada on this side and regular Canada on this side.
Yeah. I think they called that a French salad sandwich.
Okay.
But who gives a fuck about Ottawa? Their hockey team fucking sucks. All their buildings are super small. Their population isn't that fucking big. If they took our capital, we would just make the new capital Toronto, and it should have always been anyway.
They should make the new capital London.
Oh, it is the capital of probably methamphetamine use.
Yeah. You could clean it up. Right?
Listen,
It's a
I don't care.
Good excuse to clean up London, Ontario.
Listen, I think the whole world should be dirtier,
You do?
but not like pollution and stuff or litter. Just like everybody should stop showering us so much. You know, there's only so much clean water. We're so off track here.
I know. This has just gone.
I want to say
haywire.
the people that were working the festival were some of the nicest, most helpful fucking people I've ever met in my life. Like, people go, oh, you know, these grizzled old road dogs that work festivals are assholes, and the French are assholes. These people were both of those categories that are typically looked at as though they're jerks, and they were so fucking amazing. Like, from the moment we showed up, there was a fella named Chewy and there was a fella named Sandwich. Those were the only two names I got. They were so fucking nice, so fucking helpful. Like, I kept looking over at Chewy, and he was like, before we were on stage, and he was like, oh, look at all these people, man. They're here to see you. This is so fucking exciting. I'm so pumped for you, dude. Like, he just like kept saying stuff like that all day. They were like, so like aggressively helpful. I fucking loved it. Maybe it's just been a long time since I've played a festival, and that's how every local crew is now. But it was amazing. They were truly fucking awesome. I hope that guy's name was Sandwich and I didn't mishear him.
He's like, my name is Sam Wedge.
Yeah, maybe he was just like, what do you want in your wedge? And I was like, Sandwich, you Sam Rody.
So I guess, like, did you have a good time?
I had a fucking blast, dude. I felt like shit for a lot of it, but as soon as
Yeah.
I got on stage, shook off
That
all the
adrenaline.
nerves and the water of the
Yeah.
womb, and just felt fucking fantastic. Had a great time. Met a little fella that we brought on stage. I think his name was Ollie, maybe Eli, maybe I don't know. It was one of those moments where like you always see singers bring a kid on stage and like, what's your name? They're like, meh. And it's like, what if they said it and you didn't understand it? And that happened to me.
You're like, awesome.
I was like, what's your name? And he was like, what? And turns out he didn't speak a whole lot of English, and I don't speak any French, really. And I was like, what's your name? And he was like, he said it, and I was like, okay, give it up for this little guy here. He's cool. And I was like, here's a mic. You can say whatever you want. And he was like, Salut, Quebec. And I was like, give me a fucking break, dude. Say whatever you want. You just said hello, Quebec. I already said that. But no, he was a really cool little guy. I loved having him up there. I hope he enjoyed himself. I saw him fucking rocking out the whole set. And I gotta say, I asked him if he could say whatever he wanted. He looked up at me and he was like, cold water. And I was like, what? You're requesting a song off Pacific Myth right now? Like, sorry, no. But I think it's weird that on the past few things we've done, the children that have been at our shows are fond of Pacific Myth, seemingly. Now, this might be a fucking, what do you call that? Allegorical? No.
Coincidence?
No.
A Joe incidence?
When all of your evidence is just anecdotal. Allegorical. This might be anecdotal evidence, but in the two instances that I've met very young fans of our band, both of them were big fans of the Pacific Myth EP. So maybe we repackage that as like a Wiggles thing. And
maybe.
You don't seem like you think that's a good idea.
Well, I mean, I think it's fine. I love Pacific Myth. I'm a grown-up.
Are you? You go,
yeah.
I'm a grown-up. You sound like a fucking little baby.
I'm a grown-up.
And I'm a grown-up.
I have all my own teeth.
I like Pacific Myth, and I'm a grown-up. I'm all grown up.
I really do like it, though.
Thank you so much.
And my favorite song on it is Cold Water.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know them. I didn't know that. I thought because the only people
never play anything off of it.
The only people who've ever said anything nice about it are children.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think, you know what's funny? I was listening to the other podcast you did, and you were talking about how when we were younger, we'd be drinking in the back, and we would take the compliments of the parents more seriously, I guess, or we would be more proud of those compliments, which was very much true.
Well, I hope so, because I read it from something you said.
Yeah, well, I said it when I was like 20 years old and trying to fucking piss people off. But nowadays, the compliments that I like the best are coming from it's coming from kids, right? Like, you see a kid having fun at the show, and it's just like, holy shit, that's so cool. I need to make less jokes about genitalia.
There seems to be more children coming to these shows, and I need to make sure that I...
But like, yeah, meeting the kids and meeting their parents after the set is like so much fun. Like seeing a kid genuinely have fun at one of our fucking shows. It's just like, what the heck, dude? This is sick.
That's awesome.
Brings me joy. It brings me joy. It brings me joy.
I think probably my little nephew. He probably is a big fan.
Yeah?
Because my brother's a big fan.
Oh.
And I'm sure he...
Your brother, you bring him up all the time in private.
Yeah.
Now, you're not so nice about him in private. You always say...
No, he's horrible.
Yeah. Now, I have another question, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, this isn't about your brother at all. He seems like I'm sure he's a great guy.
No, he's terrible.
And he is responsible for you and I being friends.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. But does Muskie have a twin brother
Yeah.
that he got kicked out of the band and they replaced him with his twin brother? Is that true?
So he didn't get kicked out so much as he had to quit when he moved to the
Northwest
Arctic.
Territories, yeah.
Yeah. And his brother took over his spot. And when he came back,
They were like, we don't want you back?
yeah, basically, they were like, no, we're good.
Wow. And here's another question. If you had a chilly little penis because your pants were cold, would you call that Pantarctica?
Yes.
Okay. Dennis Quaid is what I almost said. And then I almost said Dennis Quaid for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-Flag.
Not Randy Quaid, though.
No, not Randy Quaid. Anti-Flag just broke up.
Wait, when?
Maybe 10 minutes before we started here.
Why?
They deleted all their socials. That is maybe by the time this podcast comes out, things will be clearer, but that's not very clear, and there's a lot of speculation.
Oh.
I will tell you what the speculation is after the podcast, but
Okay.
I'm not going to spread rumors.
Sure.
So that's what's up in music news.
I was at an anti-flag show not too long ago.
Well, they're done. They're gone. I like Anti-Flag.
Hey, my mom's calling.
Pick it up.
Nope.
Okay.
She just wants to know about cookies or something.
I want to know about cookies.
She texted me earlier and said, do you like nuts and cookies? And I said, no, I don't care for nuts and cookies. She
What
goes,
about-
that's what I thought.
What about white macadamia nut?
No?
Like you don't like those?
I like them, just not in cookies.
A little bit though?
No?
Little bit though.
No,
What
not
about-
even a little bit.
what about-
Don't put nuts in cookies
What about
or
like
brownies.
what about those cookies? You can buy them at Subway restaurant and Fashion.
the white chocolate with the macadamia nut?
That's right.
Nope.
Are you certain?
100%.
Do you know Subway is the biggest restaurant in the world?
Yeah,
You knew that?
I did.
I mean, it's a narrow margin, and they're gonna lose it, but they've got it, and they've had it since about 2006.
Yeah, because their business model is basically open. Somebody wants to open a franchise, great. Is it right next to another Subway? Don't give a fuck.
Oh wow!
Like, they just, they give franchises away.
You're knowledgeable about that.
Yeah.
I think it's also got something to do with the fact that there's the illusion of health.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, don't worry about it. Just stuff this shit in your face and your pants will fall off. They'll be so small. You'll be so small.
Yeah.
But it
But
also
then your
might...
pants fell off in front of a bunch of kids and now you're in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember? Jared? Holy shit. What a fucking... What was Can you imagine the meeting
Oh, God.
in Subway headquarters that day? Like, they're sitting around going, oh, my God.
What do we do?
Our main promotional thing is a fucking pedophile. It's going, we gotta sink the submarine sandwich.
Well, they're struggling real bad
Yeah?
right now.
Good.
So they're trying everything they can to get back. So they had this whole now it's the Subway sandwich menu thing where it's Subway series menu or something where it's all these celebrity sandwiches, and then now they brought in meat slicers and they cut your meat.
Oh, so
in
now
front
it's
of you?
so fresh. Oh,
Yeah.
so fresh.
No, it's the problem is once a brand gets that sort of negative thing,
Yeah.
it's over. They're not coming back.
Cam lives above a Subway,
Yeah,
and
never eats there.
well, I don't know. I don't know if he does or he doesn't, but he always smells like Subway.
Yeah,
Like he brought his fucking luggage into the jam space when we were leaving on a tour one time, and I was like, "Why does that smell like Subway sandwiches?" And Cam was like, "Well, it's me."
that's really weird. To live
Yeah.
like above a place and then just always smell like it.
I wonder, you know how sometimes when you come home from being away for a long time and you go, my home smell. I wonder if Cam gets that every time he goes into Subway.
Like I'm home. See, he could get into trouble with that because, like,
His pants might start fitting different.
as soon as I come home, like, I'm like pants off. You know, like, what if he just walks into Subway and is just immediately dropping his pants?
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was at my place. Ugh. You get in trouble.
That's true. You know what I like to eat more than Subway? Shit and go fuck myself. I'm old cheesy.
And I'm old Fritzy.
Eat shit and fuck you.